Hank here for Personal Life Fitness, where I review productivity, well-being, and fitness products. Today, I'm reviewing the Pomodoro Timer. This particular rotating gravity timer costs just $17.99. The unit is pretty small, measuring just 1.8 inches tall and 1.7 inches wide. Build-wise, the device is lightweight plastic, but held up pretty well to old fumble fingers. The rechargeable internal battery boasts 20 hours of continuous use and 30 days of standby time. The timer sides are labeled with quick start times, including 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 25 minutes, and 50 minutes. The timer also has a custom setting where you can set it between 1 second and 99 minutes 59 seconds. However, there's one critical thing that you need to know about that setting, and I'll get to it in the cons section of this video. When active, you can set the device on its back to pause it or on its face in order to reset the timer. There's also a stopwatch functionality. If you use the right-hand side button, slide it down to the number 2, and then you can use the start-stop button in the middle to start the timer, pause the timer, and restart it. If you like reviews like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's quickly take a look at the back of the unit. There are second and minute buttons, a start-stop button. The left switch is for vibrate and then 2 volume levels. The right switch is for off, gravity mode, and custom mode. The dot in the lower left is a charging light when plugged in. Red for charging, green for a full charge. The lines on the lower right are the speaker slots. Let's get into the pros and cons of this unit, and I'll explain why it's much better than using your cell phone timer. And the link to this particular device is also in the description. For pros, the flexibility to pause the timer by setting it on its back or reset the timer by setting it face down. That's an excellent feature. I do like the quick times of 5, 10, 25, and 50, but we'll come back to that in cons. The battery life is exceptional. Another pro, as long as you have it charged up and turned on, the display screen is always on. So there's no guessing at how much time you have left. You can quickly glance at it and immediately see how many minutes or seconds you have left. I find that to be much better than a cell phone app, because on my cell phone, even if I have it set to turn off the screen every 2 minutes or so, now I'm constantly having to fumble for it just to see where the timer is at that time. Another pro is, thankfully, it has a modern USB-C port for charging. You'd be surprised how many devices still use some of the USB micro or USB mini ports, and that's very irritating because I have tons of USB-C chargers lying around. And finally, on the pros, I do like it that it has a vibrate mode, so I don't always have to hear that annoying beep when it's going off. On the cons front, it is much smaller and much more lightweight than I anticipated when I looked at the initial posting on Amazon. Another con, and I haven't figured out if there's some way to do this differently, but when you set the custom mode, if you go too far, so you want to set it for 15 minutes and you go past 15, you go to 16, you got to go all the way back around to get back to it. Now, if you have figured out how to make it go backwards on the minutes or seconds, please comment down below. But I haven't figured it out, and I've even read through this thin little manual several times. I don't see a way to do it. So if you skip past a number, now if you hold down the button, it goes faster, but you still got to go all the way back around, which is really irritating. Another con is I'm not sure why they chose 25 and 50 minutes. 5 and 10 minutes makes sense. I wish they would have chose 30 minutes and 60 minutes for the numbers on the sides here. I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree on that. I won't say this is a con, it's a nitpick, is in gravity mode, you've got to get used to how this thing operates. So initially I was pausing it all the time or resetting it, but once you figure out that you can't let it touch a surface or whatnot on its back or face, there's just a slight learning curve for me getting this figured out. Another nitpick for me is the volume on the alert is not very loud. This is not something you're going to have sitting a couple rooms away and you're going to be able to go, oh, I remember. I can hear that thing. Thankfully, I've remembered to keep it with me as I move about, but it's something to keep track of. That's the loudest setting. And my last con is the accessory that comes with it, which is just ridiculous. This is the shortest USB-C cable I have ever seen in my life. USB-C to USB-A. That's ridiculous. Why bother at that point? What's it going to be dangling out of the outlet? That's silly. Overall, though, this gravity timer is a useful tool for your productivity to kind of keep track of where you are spending your time. And it might open your eyes to how much time you spend doing certain tasks, like it has for me. Personally, I can sit in Canva making a thumbnail, a YouTube thumbnail, or a podcast artwork or something for hours and not realize it. I've been trying to limit the time I spend on tasks, at 25-minute blocks here and there, and then maybe a 5-minute break, and so on and so forth. If you're thinking to yourself, Hank, this tool seems pretty cool, but I don't have the energy, you're going to want to watch this video next to find out if you can get all the benefits of sunlight through a light therapy device. Thank you.